to another roadmap update video. This is as of the 4th of April, and it's a good one for UK train fans. So let me scroll all the way back to the top of the list, and then we can start going through. So here we go. The roadmap, phew and brief. After a busy March schedule, April is here, and it comes with falling, frolics, and fun, and trains, obviously. We have 3 new items for you in this month's roadmap. In the worst kept secret since, well, Train Sim World 3, the Class 700 has made its way into the proceedings. Whilst it's a little while off releasing at this point, we have your first opportunity to see some screenshots of what we know is a highly anticipated EMU addition to Train Sim World 3. We've also added Just Train's first Train Sim World route to the roadmap as well, as a UK route. This is a while off launching at this point, but the team are making good progress, and we have a short update for you in the partner program section. We're also working on a new UK route, of which there will be more information in future roadmaps. And let's see, in case you missed it last week, we announced the Midland Main Line, developed by Skyhook Games, will now be releasing in April. Right, I suppose let's have a look. Combine that with a patch notes update as well as a cheeky feature on how we select our routes within Train Sim World 3, a question we get asked all the time, and the news that Tram Sim Console, developed by our friends at ViewApp, is now available to pre-order on PlayStation before release on April the 25th. Lovely. Let's see, so Midland Main Line, Leicester to Nottingham and Derby. Coming later this month, the Midland Main Line is something we know loads of you are excited for. By way of introduction, we asked Jane Whittaker, CTO of Skyhook Games, an avid rail fan, for their view of the route. So let's see. Okay, this is from Jane. So very shortly after we started work on the Midland Main Line, we realised that we were creating something special. This was not just another route for Train Sim World 3 in our hands. We were responsible to deliver an iconic route dear to the heart of many rail fans, taking Nottingham, Derby and Leicester. Add to that the equally iconic Class 158 DMU and the VP185 powered HST. One thing we did not wish to do was rush this awesome opportunity, but to create a route and locomotives that will, we hope, become a firm favourite with fans. And with that in mind, and with full support of our friends at Dovetail, we have gone the extra mile with quality and prototypical realism. Thousands of man-hours have been spent by our talented art team to create the route and surrounding environments in a way we hope that does justice to its real-world counterpart, within the limitations of home simulation. Utilising new optimization techniques, we have striven hard to create a sense of immersion and familiarity to those who have regularly travelled this route. We want you to be there with hundreds of handcrafted buildings, landmarks and interesting things to spot in the landscape. Supporting this, we know there have been a huge interest in the 158 DMU. We share the excitement of the community, so this DMU has been built from the ground up in terms of visual model, systems and performance. Great effort has been made in consultation with real Class 158 drivers and engineering technicians to have the 158 drive as close as possible to the real thing. And yes, we spent weeks ensuring braking was accurate to a well-worn Class 158, acceleration and a range of parameters are as prototypical as we can get them. Not forgetting a unique sound set which brings the 158 to life. And thank you to all our resident experts and beta crew for your depth of support. Last but not least, we are introducing a new version of the equally iconic HST, the VP185 version, which has never before been seen in Train Sim World. We wanted to do this justice not only with accurate sound set recorded from a VP185, but also taking into account the differences that enthusiasts appreciate. There are cab layout differences to the previous HST variants. There are performance differences with the VP185 power plant. We have worked long and hard to make this version of the HST unique. If that were not enough, we have added scenarios which I was keen to see added into the mix, and as a keen rail enthusiast myself, layering with other locomotives allows you to drive a Class 45 peak on a rail tour, other specials and even freight services. Let's not forget the railhead treatment train, to name a few of the specials. In short, we have really brought this route to life. You felt a tingle down my spine at the helm of a peak and rake of Mark II coaches pulling out of Derby. I want, on behalf of myself and the team, to thank you for your support and keen interest in the Midland Main Line. Your comments and enthusiasm across the Dovetail forums and social media has inspired us. We hope that translates into enjoyment for all of you on each and every mile you drive. So that was from Jane Whittaker, CTO of Skyhook Games. And then we got the timetable. The Skyhook team have accurately simulated the 158 and HST playable timetable for this route, equating to 72 playable Class 158 services and 59 playable HST services. And if you like variety, there's a lot to be found. So there's 2 playable Class 45 Rail Tour services, 2 playable Class 66 Rail Tour services, 5 playable Railhead Treatment Train services, 5 playable ROG Class 37 services, and there's also 1 freight service featuring Southeastern High Speeds Class 66. And apparently HST will appear as AI at St Pancras on Southeastern as well. A process of collaboration. Midland Mainline has been a thoroughly collaborative project, just as we at Dovetail have sought help from the likes of TSG and our beta community for the BR103 on Linker Rheinstrecke. We've been able to help and support Skyhook on the Midland Mainline. So in practical terms, Skyhook have built the groundwork for the 158 and the HST by building the models, artwork and animations, and we've been able to support on the implementation of AP sounds, as well as physics and loco setup. The 158 will also have the same internal destination system, GSMR as Birmingham Cross City's 323, so players can expect a consistent experience. I'm not really sure the GSMR is a destination system, more of a, I suppose, an identification system. And the Class 43 will also have new AP source Dovetail implemented sounds as well. We are looking forward to seeing you in action in the preview stream planned for later this month. There will be a 158 and HST walk around video later this week, and if you keep an eye out on Skyhook socials, they'll be showing lots of screenshots and gameplay. Nice, that was the Midland Main Line. Now on to the Peak Forest route. Our second steam route is now deep in development, and it's a very different prospect to Liverpool to Crewe. Set in 1963 in the latter stages of the dieselisation of British Railways, the Peak Forest route will provide you with a more challenging steam experience while offering incredible scenery into the bargain. Incorporating banking operation and service mode to navigate steep inclines, and a scenario featuring double heading, it aims to bring a new dynamic to steam under the breathtaking backdrop of the beautiful Derbyshire countryside. You can see the route in action in screenshots, and we'll talk about more in content in the coming weeks. And they've also got a question here: why terminate Ambergate? Because Ambergate's quite a sort of small place. It's just a little village, which is actually only about 10 miles north of where the Midland Main Line route's going to be ending at Derby. So it's, well, you would have thought maybe they would have gone to Derby. So why terminate Ambergate? When we look at the extents of any route project, we look at more than just where trains naturally start and end. Consider what we want to focus on and what the key elements of the project are. In this case, the journey from Ambergate to Chinley across the Peak Forest and Wye Valley, as well as really capturing the incredible beauty of this area of the railway line, were our primary goals. We want to provide immersive player experiences, and we felt this was the best option. There was also a map which you might see going around as well. Will there be banking operations? Yes, within scenarios and as part of timetable mode. What will the timetable look like? It is based on the 1963 timetable. There have been some tweaks to make it all work. They said a lack of sources for the freight timetable at the time was meant we've had to do a best guess approach. Will there be any diesel locomotives in the pack? Not with the release, but we wanted to focus on the steam experience of this add-on primarily. Will steam physics be improved? The team are working hard to improve the physics of firing and general operation for this release for the LMS Fowler 4F. We also plan to add these improvements to existing routes. Nice. And let's see, what else have we got? Oh, and then the 700, which is probably the best of the best. Trainsim 3's worst kept secret is out. The Class 700-0 is coming to Trainsim World, and it's coming this summer. this summer. Seems quite far away. As you can see from the screenshot above, the skeleton has been built, and the next step is making it operable. And working with the Southeastern High-Speed timetable, we are a way off from talking features, audio, and setup at the moment. But when we have more, we'll share it with you. So yeah, that's good. Obviously, that's going to be for Southeastern High Speed. Slightly disappointing we won't be seeing the Dash 1, as the Dash 1 and the Dash 0 are, well, I mean, very, very similar, just one's 4 coaches more. But really, they're very, very similar. So I suppose that probably means we won't be seeing Brighton mainline services, because the Brighton mainline services, the majority of them are Dash 1s. You rarely get, well, not rarely, but it's more, probably 80% of the time it's an FLU, 20% of the time it would be an RLU on the Brighton mainline. So we'll have to see how that pans out. I think Gatwick Airport to Bedford services might be Dash 0, so maybe they could add some services to the Brighton mainline. They've got something about Easter Mastery, an Easter egg hunt in the training centre, so that'll be coming on the 5th of April. Training Mod 3 core improvements and content patches, so a progress summary on the core improvements the teams are working on. So add-ons manager, we've added add-on manager functionality to PS4, which, as well as helping players who had reached a limit on add-ons access to their full collection, has brought on a reduction of loading time and general performance improvements. Next on our list is Xbox, before we bring it to PC platforms afterwards. Spirit of Steam AI SPAD and physics improvements. The team are aiming for Peak Forest release to bring you improvements to AI SPADs on the Liverpool crew route, as well as some physics tweaks. HST delivery designer compatibility, we are hoping, all being well, to bring you this with the Midland Mainline's release in April. Peninsula Corridor and Oakville Corridor Baby Bullet services. We are now bundling these two pieces of content together, as they are caused by the same UI issue. Whilst we've not made progress since the last roadmap on this one, it's something the team will be investigating. As to Oakville Corridor Baby Bullet services. I guess they mean Oakville Subdivision. I'm not sure what it means by bundling these two pieces of content together. Not sure. 2012 Preservation Crew releases. This has been a particularly tricky project to schedule into our calendars, and we apologise for the delay in bringing this to you. We are committed to bringing the improvements to you, and we are hopeful they will be released in the next couple of months. Right, let's see what else we got. Third-party developer partner program update. Updates from some of our partner programs. So let's see, Just Trains. The Just Trains team are working hard bringing in their first product to Train Sim World. We've completed over 40 miles of track laying and signalling, and the team are now in the process of detailing the world to the level that our customers have to expect from Just Trains. A fully featured seasonal timetable is in the course of development, and we are looking forward to be able to show people what is being achieved in the coming months. Along with this, an exciting new train will join the Train Sim World lineup as part of our project. TSG, the team are working on post-release Niedertalbahn improvements, which will come as a later patch, as well as performance improvements, and the headliner of which is allowing consoles to activate PZB as intended. And inside development, how we pick our routes. This is from Dovetail Games. But it's a pretty intricate process, and we've instilled Steve, one of our senior producers and owner of the LAMP process, to provide the details. Choosing a route is a particularly complex process, and generally begins with an outline proposal, either from our internal staff or external source, so community. It is particularly important for us to understand what it is we're trying to achieve, and that anything we proceed with is of value not just to us but to our players too. Understanding where a route fits in with the entire catalogue of content whilst providing value and entertainment for players is crucial. And when we evaluate a proposal, we look at 4 major areas, what we refer to as the LAMP process: licensing, anticipation, mix, and prominence. So licensing is, well, it's in the name, isn't it? Licensing covers our legal obligations and answers questions such as, do we have licenses or agreements in place to ensure we can represent the route appropriately with the trains that are seen on the route in the real world for the time period proposed? Are there additional licenses we need to bring in to develop this route? This then informs our licensing and contracts team on where they need to focus their resources. Anticipation. Anticipation is about how our players perceive the route and the included content. This probably is the most subjective area of evaluation, and we are essentially evaluating how well players will receive the route in its proposed form. We spent a great deal of time looking at the reviews and comments from similarly based routes that we've released previously, as well as any thoughts and concerns raised on any proposals that have been submitted by players. Are players going to find the content boring or just a duplication of a previously released route? If there is strong support for a route, where is the hierarchy? And then mix. Mix looks at the gameplay element in greater detail. Is there enough gameplay provided in the route to keep players occupied and engaged? Does the value of included content and gameplay align with the intended pricing? Does the gameplay volume align with previously released content? Are there any unique elements in the gameplay that can be leveraged to improve the gameplay offering? Prominence. Prominence looks at the global commercial appeal of the route. Are the locations represented known globally, or is the route known only to locals? Are there prominent landmarks which are required to properly represent the route? Do the included locos have appropriate appeal to the players? Is there any provenance to the locos? Are they famous? Routes that have greater global appeal and have strong landmark features with terrains that are likely to engage players are more likely to move forward to approval. Once all areas above are evaluated, we then use traffic lights to score each segment: red, no go; yellow, concerns; green, go. Recommendations are made for any areas marked red or yellow and placed in the fifth section called recommendations and opportunities. Recommendations are those which highlight where the proposal can be modified to improve the overall score. Opportunities are those areas which enable us to push the envelope or raise the bar by adding additional content or including key elements not factored in the proposal, such as a yard which could add switching and shunting opportunities, or a key landmark which may help improve global appeal. As an example, on reviewing the proposal submitted for the Boston Providence route, it was identified that a key aspect was required to maximise the route's potential in terms of gameplay and prominence. This was of course Amtrak's Acela. We highlighted that it's more likely that the Acela was perhaps known internationally due to tourism in New York, as well as nationally and locally. Due to its prominence as America's only high-speed train service, this was also cross-compared with proposals submitted by players, who also confirmed to us that it was highly demanded train, and we recommended it to be prioritised for development. Oh, right, let's see. Dovetail Games releases Peak Forest, UK route, Thameslink BR Class 700. Partner Programme releases Midland Mainline, UK route. DBBR 420, core features, add-ons manager, derating improvements, save game improvements, performance optimizations, Michelinus, rush hour passenger system for Brighton Mainline, manual fireman functionality for Steam locos, and special projects team, US content post patch, Linker Rhinestrecker post release patch, Loco add-on bundle 2 post release patch, Ninja Tailbarn post release patch, HST livery designer functionality, Plinter Corridor, Oakville, access to Baby Bullet services, DBBR 187 audio improvements, Scottish commuter, Hubstrucker Hamburg. Okay, that's all what we've read before. But that's pretty much it for the roadmap this month. So do put your thoughts in the comments below. I think the 700 is probably going to be the main thing people are looking forward to on that one, and it looks fantastic. Same with the Midland Main Line and the Peak Forest route as well. Looking forward to it. But links can be found in the usual places: Discord, PayPal, merch store. Apart from that, have a lovely rest of your day, and I hopefully will see you in the next one. See you all, and take care. Bye, guys.